What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Slice of TV. I am your host, Brett Parker, and today we are talking about Twisted Metal from Peacock. Twisted Metal is a game that came out in the mid to late 90s on the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, all the way up to the PlayStation 3, which I have a copy of the PlayStation 3 version of the game that was the last Twisted Metal game to ever come out on a console. When I found out that this was going to be turned into a TV show, I went, huh? How? How is this going to happen? How can they take a game about just people driving around shooting at each other, in kind of a contest form and make it into a compelling TV show? It doesn't have to be completely compelling, but but make it interesting and make me want to watch every episode and just make it good. And after watching the trailer way back when, I was still very skeptical. I saw the first ever poster for it and went, yikes, that is a terrible poster. We never want to see that again. But I said, you know what? I saw Sweet Tooth in the trailer and I said, I got to do it. I got to watch it. I got to support my boy Sweet Tooth. I got to see what they got to do with him. And after watching the first episode, I was still kind of on the fence. And then I was like, you know what? Let me keep going. And I binged this show in about 2 days. So I guess that should tell you something about what I thought about this show. So the question that I'm ultimately asking is the Twisted Metal show good? And short and sweet of it, yes. In my opinion, this show is good, it's fun, and it's worth you seeing it. If you have Peacock, don't miss out on this. It's 10 episodes. They're about 30 minutes a piece, which is beautiful. You can binge them real fast. It's got a fun cast, which is very surprising because Anthony Mackie, I've been very kind of hit and miss with Anthony Mackie. Either I like him a lot or I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm over this. I think it's more the fact he's in the MCU and he's been playing the same character for a long time. And I'm just kind of like, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm happy that I'm happy for him that he's becoming the new Captain America, but I'm kind of just, I don't know. I think I'm just over the MCU. And so I was very skeptical. I'm like, can Anthony Mackie do this? Because he is the lead in this show. And after the first episode, I was sold. I was like, yep, he's funny. He is playing a character kind of out of his element. He's definitely not playing just another version of, Sam Wilson or, anything that he has played before. He's a very good actor. But it's fun to see people who have been, especially Anthony Mackie, who's been doing the same role for 10 years, hopping into something different and doing a really good job with it. He's fun. He has a lot of, the way his character is. It's fun to see how he reacts to things. And I love that there's even moments where you're kind of like sad. Like you're sad for him and you're feeling it. And they cue up some Evanescence in the background during one of the scenes where you're just like, oh, you picked this song. Oh my God. I'm not supposed to get emotional in a Twisted Metal show, but it's there. You have Stephanie Beatriz, who I'm sorry, I probably just butchered your last name. She's hilarious. She's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She played Rosa. She was also in Kanto. She's such a perfect fit with Anthony Mackie in the way that her character plays off him and, their kind of very hot and cold relationship throughout the show. But the one character I was skeptical on the most, because he is my favorite character in the game, and I probably feel a lot of people's favorite character, especially if you've played the games, is Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth is I would say the face of the Twisted Metal franchise, and I think they did a perfect job casting. So they cast Joe Sanoa, who goes by Samoa Joe. He's a wrestler in the AEW, and he is the body form of Sweet Tooth. And then they got Will Arnett to do his voice, and Will Arnett's raspy, that Batman voice that he does for Lego Batman. It's not quite that, but it's a lot of fun, and it fits perfectly with the character and Joe's movements as Sweet Tooth along with the voice. They blend so well together where you don't even, if you didn't look at the cast list or you didn't know that it was two separate people, you just would never know, because of course he's wearing a mask, so they have to make the ADR. It's a little bit noticed, but it's how characters with masks work. And then you have Thomas Hayden Church, who plays Agent Stone, who is kind of the antagonist of the series, and he does a great job with it. He's very compelling as an antagonist. He is very, in my opinion, kind of, he puts off that demeanor of being a scary, lawman. He is the man who's trying to bring law back to a lawless land. So the story of the show is that the world kind of went to shit after all the electronics in the world kind of went kaput and kind of turned on humans. And so the world became lawless, and big cities and rich people pretty much, gated off their big cities, walled them up, and they live in kind of these beautiful, like nothing ever happened kind of society. And then the rest of the world is just lawless, where there's just people driving around with guns attached to their cars and crazy things are happening. You have a killer clown who lives in Vegas. You have Anthony Mackie's character, John Doe, who is what they call a milkman, which is a kind of a delivery guy. He pretty much goes from place to place and just delivers, essential goods in a world that doesn't have much. But he is John Doe because he lost his memory as a child. He has very, very, very close relationship with his car. And he meets up with Stephanie Beatrice's character, Quiet, who is a very mysterious person, but then they kind of form this really fun relationship. It's kind of, and it's a roller coaster relationship throughout the entire series, but it's a lot of fun. She is always great. I loved her as Rosa in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And again, it's good to see a character, especially in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She's a very tough character. She's got that voice. She's very tough. And then she's going into the show where she's still very tough and does a lot of tough stuff, but she also has the sensitive side to her. Sweet Tooth is just a madman. He is legit. I mean, he kind of has the Joker tendencies. He is just kind of on his own mission, but they got his look down perfectly. His voice is fantastic. They got his vehicle looks identical to what the game vehicle is. It's just perfect. And every time he's on screen, you have a smile on your face. And Thomas Hayden Church, I think, like I said before, he does a great job. Side characters, though, and characters that may not play throughout the show. So those 5 actors are all pretty much in all 10 of those episodes, and they're pretty much main characters. And then you have your recurring characters, and you have John getting sent out on this big mission that'll kind of change his life forever. And the person that sends him on this mission is none other than Scream Queen herself, Neve Campbell, which is awesome. She plays Raven. We have another person I want to shout out is Mike Mitchell. He plays a character named Stu, and he is kind of he plays kind of both sides of the fence. He's a guy that is like on the side of Agent Stone, the lawman, but then kind of sees things differently and kind of hooks up with John Doe and Quiet. And then he ends up hooking up with Sweet Tooth. It's such a crazy little turn there. But he's fun. He's this guy who's kind of in an existential crisis of just like, he's not really meant for this world. He's not really meant to be in this post-apocalyptic world because he's a sensitive guy. He's, trying to live his life and do some, good things, but he's always put into some really shitty situations. And another one is Jason Mantzoukas, who plays Preacher. He's hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious. I love the way that this character is portrayed. It's, he's the leader of the Holy Men, who, it's funny because they're called the Holy Men, but they literally do the worst of the worst out of all of the kind of rogue groups that are out in this lawless world. And it's just so much fun to watch. Every aspect of the show has been a blast. There really hasn't been complete lull moments, even when there are like just moments of just characters, having a lot of dialogue. I thought it was fun. It's just, people trying to get to know each other, and, people doing competitions. You got some crazy, some crazy sex scenes. Not that you don't see nothing. You don't see nothing. So don't get all worked up, people. But, yeah, I thought everybody played their parts well. And I love the world. It's very practical. It doesn't feel like it's a movie set. And the crazy thing is, it's only a $73.5 million budget. And if you think, that's high, it's not for a TV. This is a 10-episode TV show. Secret Invasion, the latest MCU show on Disney Plus, had a $220 million budget, which is just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. So to think that they can do something like this with a quarter of that budget, I don't see why we need to be puking up all this money for kind of mediocre shows. Because in my opinion, this Twisted Metal show was a lot more enjoyable than Secret Invasion, just because I feel like a lot of fun things happened, and then the end there was a fun payoff, and I'm looking forward to, hopefully, cross our fingers, there'll be a season 2. So I do want to talk about the development of the show. So this, of course, this was written or created by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, who are they were the creators of, they helped Ryan Reynolds get Deadpool on screen. They were the writers for Deadpool 1 and 2 and Zombieland. So, some good stuff under their belts. And this was definitely a perfect arena for them to kind of stretch their creative skills. And I think they did a great job. It's, there's no really ham-fisted dialogue. You have your quirky, weird moments and certain things that are kind of a generic dialogue between characters, especially when there's like, the evil character of just like the tough, you get those things sometimes, but there's moments where you're just like, what the hell is happening? But you're just, where you're at, what world you're in. And, it's got some messed up moments too. There's a lot of what the fuck moments, which, I mean, it's Twisted Metal, so it's not that surprising. But I love Neve Campbell. I think the little she's in the show, she puts on such a show. This feels like The Craft, Neve Campbell, kind of like, she's very sweet, but then she's got that evil turn, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And then, yeah, I just think the show really exceeded my expectations for what I thought it was going to be. I did not think I was going to be getting 2 Sony properties getting turned into shows that were actually good, getting The Last of Us earlier this year and now getting this. I'm just like, let's go. Let's redo Uncharted. Let's try it again. Let's actually cast somebody who looks like Victor Sullivan. No offense, Tom Holland. I thought you did a okay job, but we could try it again. But yeah, if you have Peacock, give it a watch. If you don't, get a free trial or something. Check out the show. It's very easy to get through. It's, like I said, it's only 30-minute episodes. It's a lot of fun. I recommend it highly. We don't do star ratings here, ratings at all, but I'm just going to give you my recommendation. This show's fun. It's a fun show. I thought it was very good, well made for the little bit of a budget that it had. Fun cast. And makes me want to play. It makes me just want to hook up my PS3 and throw that bad boy in there and play some Twisted Metal, or go find my PS2 Twisted Metal Black and play some of that. So that's kind of how it goes. Have you seen Twisted Metal? What did you think? Is it something that you're interested in? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. If you want, you can message me over at twitter.com/dissectthatfilm. Send me a DM about the episode. We'll be posting this on Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to comment on those posts, or if you want to email us, we're at dissectthatfilm@gmail.com. So send me an email, say hi, say how much you like the show, or if you don't like the show, it is how it is. If you watch us on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Yeah, we always love reading the comments. I try to answer all of the comments, as quickly as I see them. So if you comment and I don't respond immediately, don't worry, I will see it at some point. And if you listen to us on any app, whatever podcast app you listen to us on, if you can rate and review us, we appreciate it highly, because the more people that give us a review on whatever app it is, the more people will get our show recommended to them. And we want more people to listen to our show, because that's cool. We hope people would want to listen, and hopefully you enjoy listening to the show. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. Yeah. I mean, I think I covered pretty much everything that needs to be covered. So yeah, check it out. 10 episodes, 30 minutes apiece. It's a quick one. But yeah, that's about it for me. Until next time, I'm Brett Parker, and this has been another episode of Slice of TV. See y'all again next time. Bye.